Hello all sentient beings and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, we talk about the latest regarding Haslab's Unicron. There is an upgrade kit for Kingdom Voyager Inferno, and we have some leaks regarding Kingdom Galvatron. Today is Wednesday, March 24th, 2021, and this is episode 426 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's bending to our fans' demands and will be edited by our original editor this week. Get ready for the 4-hour Jeremy cut. I'm your host. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
Creator, producer, and star of Empire of Rust, editor Mike.
No one told me I was getting fired on the show. What the hell, guys?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian beast.
Hey, how's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
All right. Sorry, Mike, this is your last show. But, collect your final paycheck.
You don't have enough slow-mo in the podcast.
You know, you could have just fired me over Twitter. I mean, seriously.
Come on, we're not monsters.
It's sort of in person.
All right, as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatrons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you so much for your support. You guys keep the show going, keep us in business. And if you are not a Donatron and would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. And of course, one of the perks of being a Donatron is that you get access to our bonus uncut episodes of Empire of Rust, our live play Transformers RPG podcast run by Mike.
Woot.
And this week, episode 46, Iron Eagles. That's coming out. It's already out, and you should be already in your feed or in your Donatron feed in Patreon. It came out this Monday, March 22nd, so you should already have access to it. If you want to wait for the regular episode, that will be coming March 29th, so you've got another week, but all our Donatrons get the uncut episode early so they can hear everything. Don't spoil it for all the regular listeners, but you get to enjoy it. You get to enjoy it a little early. You want to leave any teasers, Mike, for Iron Eagles? We got a big battle coming up, I think, don't we?
Pretty soon, yeah. The Iron Eagles is based off of the 1980s movie by the same name, simply because it was so utterly ridiculous that it made perfect sense. And for those of you who haven't seen Iron Eagles, back in the 80s, it was like a military-esque movie about a bunch of 80s teenagers who fly a fighter jet. Yeah. That was 80s for you. I don't miss it.
They didn't immediately crash. All right. Well, look forward to that. And another Donatron perk, of course, is that you are automatically entered into our monthly Toy Hacks gift code drawing. Our March drawing is coming next week, so you can become a Donatron to get automatically entered, or you can send an email to contest@transmissionspodcast.com, and in that email, send us a picture of the Transformer toy you would like to get some labels for, and that will be your entry. But the easiest way is to just become a Donatron. But everyone, we need to get your entries in by March 28th, Sunday, March 28th. That's when we will do the drawing. So good luck to everyone. We already had an entry this month from Steve Wu. So good luck to Steve and everyone else on all our Donatrons and anybody else who wants to enter. All right, Jeremy, you somehow are continuing to survive America's Next Top Podcaster.
Somehow.
So what's going on this week?
After we won last week, we didn't win last week. Sorry, we came right in the middle last week. So we didn't lose anybody. We didn't get any bonuses for winning. And this week's challenge was an investigative podcast. And we chose to call this podcast Historical Heist. and we found a story about this. Can't remember if it was I think it was played flute or violin, one of the two. It's been a long week, but he was a musician and he wanted to buy a golden, I think it was flute. He wanted to buy a golden flute, and he was into decorative fly fishing, and it's not actually doing the fishing. It's just making these decorative flies with like feathers. It was a really kind of crazy story. And he went and stole from a British museum tons of these like old bird carcasses that were like in the museum for like scientific study. And it was a crazy theft. And we did a podcast talking all about it. I now know more about fly fishing than I wanted to, but we won. So that was great. We got, ours was, I think all the stories were good, but ours was apparently the best by the judges. And we got 5 extra minutes on the next challenge, which was an interview challenge. So every team is getting, I think it was 10 minutes with someone that the people doing the competition chose. Like everyone gets the same person, and we got 15 minutes. And basically it's like, we're going to have to, do an interview with them, and with everyone interviewing the same person, kind of finding our own little story in there. So that's for next week. And yeah, it's a fun competition. I'm happy that our team seems to be gelling pretty good.
Awesome.
The actual podcast sounds like it's the plot of a bad 80s movie.
It does. And if you go to americasnexttop.podcaster.com, you can listen to the judging episodes, and also like they also are putting out on the feeds each team's podcast that we're producing, so you can check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, I am a week behind. I did listen to the first week, so now I've got to listen to the second week. And by the time this show goes up, I think the third week will already
it comes
be
out on
so.
like Wednesdays, I think. So
okay,
we're a week behind in this because we record on Sundays, and I'm not going to spoil anything.
So yeah, everyone look forward to that, and wish Jeremy luck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into the toy news.
All right, first up this week, we got, it's another Unicron watch. So this is we're closing in on the last few Unicron watches here, because he's starting to ship out. And as of this recording, a number of people have started to receive their Unicrons. So that's awesome. I'm very happy for everyone that's starting to get theirs. Charles, did you get yours?
It has not come yet, but I got a FedEx notification that something that requires signature confirmation is supposed to come to my house on Thursday. So crossing my fingers that this is Unicron, or maybe
you didn't
crossing
get
my fingers that it's not Unicron.
Notification by Hasbro Pulse?
No, I did not. I did not get a Hasbro Pulse notification. So
maybe log into your account
know.
and see if it's there.
Yeah. So that's what everything's saying on here, is that, they're sending out notifications that you should be, that they're sending it, like they're sending out an email that it's coming, that Unicron is coming, and you should be looking out for the tracking information, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been checking my Hasbro Pulse account. I have not gotten a notification. I've not gotten an email. And on my Hasbro Pulse account, it still just says unfulfilled for the Unicron order. So, but I did get this but I have a FedEx, like a FedEx customer account, so I get the notifications when something is scheduled to come to my house. So
you'll probably get your email next week after you've already got Unicron.
Yeah. Probably.
Maybe you get
but
two.
We do know, maybe, yeah. Randomly just get a free Unicron. But we do know that at least one of our listeners, our Masterpiece Donatrion, John 4X11 Good, he did get his, and he already has a video up on YouTube of him transforming it. So
it's true. And I did notice on Facebook that Kevin Horn got his. So well done, Kevin, as well, getting your Unicron. So there's a few of them that are making it out there to the listeners. The fandom are starting to receive them now, and it's an exciting time. Apparently, he's very big. Jeremy, you were telling me something earlier about a little PSA about when you receive your Unicron.
Yeah, I saw. I can't remember if it was Twitter or Facebook, but someone posted a picture of the box on its side, and they were like, "Be careful! Make sure the box is right side up when you open it, because he will just roll right out of the box."
I mean, it seems like common sense, but you never know. It might be easier to lift a cylindrical figure out of a square box to just kind of have it on its side. But yeah, open it up right side up, so yeah, it doesn't fall on its side and break. So yeah, right on. So that's very cool. So this coming week is Unicron Reception Week, and this is kind of fun.
And it's good to know Kevin Horner already got one, so if Charles decides to use his as a giveaway for the podcast, Kevin doesn't have to enter.
There you go. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to move into my actual topic for this show, and that is that we have a new third-party figure to talk about, and that is Lucifer from TFC Toys. It is their S-04. It's their G1 Cutthroat, and we have a color prototype to look at. So TFC Toys is still rocking the combiners, and we have known about TFC Toys, and we've talked about them an awful lot. They are one of the OG third-party companies, and this is not a bad-looking figure. It's kind of, I don't know, I'd say busy, but it still, gives you that Cutthroat look. And they do have a picture here of Cutthroat in the arm form, and it looks pretty good. I'll give it that. So TFC doing another combiner is not really the biggest surprise. Doing an Abominus, that's, sure, Abominus is a figure that really hasn't been touched on all that much. What are your guys' opinions of TFC taking a crack at Abominus here? Mike?
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
I'm really loving the look. I think out of all of the Abominus or the Cutthroat specific figures that I've seen, this actually looks really I think it really captures that kind of monster feel that they're going for. I really only have one problem with it, and I'm looking at the picture of it in its bird monster mode, whatever it is, and the chest and the head I'm fine with, but seeing the kind of transformed legs towards the back where the tail is, that's bugging me a little bit. But in the end, it really is a minor nitpick. It's not a deal breaker for me. I just think it's out of a fairly good looking figure. I think that's the worst part of it. But yeah, color wise, this thing is vibrant. I'll give it that. But I think it really captures that monster aesthetic that I think a lot of Cutthroats have kind of been lacking a little bit. Certainly the Power of the Primes one that came out is a good figure, but it didn't really have that kind of monster-esque vibe. Right.
Charles, many people don't know this about you, but you and your family collect various exotic birds, and Cutthroat here is by definition an exotic bird type creature. It would fit right in with your home, pet situation. Are you drawn to this on a familiar level, or is this just something else that you can skip?
I didn't know you were into birds, Charles. Why didn't you tell us?
It's a long reach, Daryl. I don't know, Mike. I guess it just slipped my mind.
What else don't we know about you?
I think he's more.
Well, what you don't know is that it all started out back in the 80s when Charles went by Coco Beware.
I'm surprised as someone that doesn't
like in a movie too.
Someone that doesn't like pro wrestling, Daryl. I am surprised you pulled that deep of a cut. Very, very good.
I was a child at one point. WWF wrestling was very impressive and entertaining to me as an 8-year-old. Then I grew up. The guy had a bird. He had a real bird.
He did.
How is that wrestling? I have no idea, but he had a real bird and he was on TV and I loved it.
You have Jake the Snake that had a snake. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It was
the 2x4 guy. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
It was a different era. And
It was. That was why it was fun for me as a child. Anyway, Charles, will you be putting Cutthroat in a cage here?
It's really more of a proto board, isn't it? Like, an Archaeopteryx or something, from
Come on.
dinosaur times.
Don't get on the don't get all doctory on me here.
Don't use your science words.
It's a good figure. It's very really well articulated. Both the robot mode and the quote unquote bird mode are very nice. Very the Abominus arm mode is really well done. I really like how the arm looks, especially with the the wings kind of as shoulder pads for the arm. It looks really cool. So this is a good looking figure. The third party combiners are still a little pricey for me, so I'm probably not picking this up. This is not the first one they've released, right? So they've still got they already put out a bunch, so I'm already kind of behind. So I'm probably not dipping into this guy, just, to get the full Abominus here. But this is a nice, if you're into the third party combiners, this is really well done.
And Jeremy, we've been put through the tale of you and you're buying a house. We understand this. Yeah. But nothing goes better with a new house than a new pet. I mean, and a parrot of some kind. I'm really reaching on the parrot thing, but I mean, parrots will live quite long, and Cutthroat's a parrot, right?
No, just give up. The figure itself, I like it. My biggest complaint is that the head doesn't really have much color on it, and you have color everywhere else. I mean, I looked at the original G1 figure. I mean, this is kind of accurate to how the character looks, but it just is very bland. And you have molding detail, slap a little paint on there. I do really like how the swords kind of dock into the wings as storage, but it looks, it gives it kind of, I don't know, it looks like it's supposed to be there. And I really like how that looks. As alt mode, it looks terrifying. So, like you said, it is very busy, the colors. It does, like, none of the toys really are that bright of a yellow. But I can see you're wanting, Abominus he's a mix of colors. So if you're going to do it, why not just go bright yellow? And it doesn't really detract from the figure that much.
Right on. I was going to mention the swords and the wings there. And if the remaining figures of Abominus here, if their Abominus all integrate their weapons into their alt modes, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really smart way of doing it, too.
Okay, well, moving on, I have one more thing I wanted to touch on before we progress through to Jeremy, and that is that this week I was going through Twitter, and I found out that Non-F Productions, and we talked to Non-F a long time ago, and he has produced a upgrade kit for Studio Series 86 Grimlock, and this is that Grimlock that just came out. But everyone's talking about the chest plate on him that's too dark. You can't see the Autobot symbol behind it. And it's, people are wondering why can't we get something that'll, kind of fix that? Well, he's producing something that is. Along with the chest panel replacement, you can also get a sword. There's 4 arm panels, top and bottom dino teeth repair kit, I guess. They're not good. I didn't really notice. And then 3 filler plugs for the dino head, plus a crown, because Grimlock needs a crown. So this is a lot of stuff, a great kit from my opinion, and he's charging $15 or $14.99 US. And you can choose the different colors. You can choose a red or an orange sword, or a clear or a tinted chest plate. So there are some customizations you can make there. And Non-F does sell out, so if you're looking to get something like this, you may want to jump on this, pretty quick, because he doesn't really tend to redo his stuff over, years down the road. once he's sold out of it, he'll move on to something else. He's just a one-man operation. So, but one thing I did want to mention here is that shipping can be kind of tight on his end. So if you're in the US, it's no problem. Like anything else in the US, everything's just hunky-dory. It's $5.48 to ship within the US. But if you're in Canada or Australia, you got to spend $50 on his site to get shipping. And that's a little tough because, yeah, sure, the Grimlock set's $15, but everything else he charges is like $4, $6, $7. And it's tough to find $50 worth of stuff that some person might want at that, when he's only offering, 10 update sets at the time. So if you have the opportunity to get together with some friends and maybe split this cost, if you're out of the US anyway, because shipping in Canada to Canada is $18 and shipping to Australia is $20. So, and you got to hit 50 before he'll even ship to you. So it's not the easiest set to get right now if you're not in the US. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. It looks like an amazing set, and Non-F does do amazing stuff. It's just it's hard to get right now if you're not in the US. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up, and we can move on. Jeremy, what do you got?
I just have a quick upgrade kit for Kingdom Voyager Inferno. This is the 115 Utopia upgrade kit, and essentially it just has arm fillers, calf fillers, and thigh fillers just to make the figure look and seem a little bit more solid. No idea on pricing for this, but it just helps make the figure look a little bit better, because from the before and after pictures, he's very gappy in his arms and legs. So nothing really much to talk about here. It's a light week, but I know these tend to be pretty popular. This was just announced on Weibo, and it's not for sale yet.
These upgrade kits, both the non-F one and this one, these are almost coming. If you are really into a figure, you'll spend the money. And like I said, with the non-F one being $15, this one here that you're talking about,
much less
the
than
Inferno
the
it
non-F
would
one.
be way less. I mean, most you're talking $10, right? But it's still, if you're really into Inferno and you want to make the best damn Inferno that you'll ever get, you're going to spend the money to get the little upgrade kits here and there. Right. And then you'll get the Toy Hacks upgrade kit too, with the stickers and any other parts that they might make for them, like a G1 gun or whatnot. But it's all this kind of stuff is just great. I love it. And the best part is being, if you want to call them third party companies, Hasbro won't give two shits about them.
Right. So. Yeah. This is the type of stuff that even people that don't like third party don't really have a problem with, because you're not. You have to have the official toy to do anything with it. Otherwise, you just have some pieces of plastic on a sprue.
Yeah.
This is basically a recolor of the Grapple version that they did, but this company has also done like the Jetwing Optimus Prime from the movie. They did an upgrade kit for that last year, I think. So, it's they're definitely filling a hole in the fandom.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's all I got. Mike, what do you got this week?
All right, so I got the Kingdom spoiler pack. So they released the images of the spoiler pack a few days ago, but they didn't actually reveal who was in it. But now we get some information as to who is going to be in the pack. And it is going to be a repaint of Megatron and a Paleotrix, if I pronounce that right. Paleotrix? Charles, help me out here.
Paleotrix, sure. I don't know. That's my guess. I
thought ask a doctor, That
well, it's practically a bird.
And we all know how much Charles is into those. So this is a purple version of Paleotrix, along with it looks like a slightly different kind of grayish version of Earthrise Megatron, I believe.
Yep.
But the interesting thing on this one is probably the accessories that come with it. A couple of additional blast effects, but it comes with this really, this really weird matrix on a chain that you can attach to Megatron, like attach to his chest. I have never seen an accessory like this in all of Transformers, but you know what? I'm in for it. I dig it. This is cool. I'm actually kind of glad that they put like these kind of neat things into the box sets. This is kind of cool, but certainly not enough to make me go and buy like buy a version of this. Jeremy, I know you're buying a house, but isn't the Matrix on a chain a good enough addition for it?
That's pretty much the only thing that is interesting about this to me. I mean, I don't have the Paleo Trex, but I imagine I'll probably pick one up. I have the Megatron, and I just the blast effects aren't really. I mean, their blast effects don't really need them. But the Matrix thing looks cool, especially when he's like kind of wearing it across his chest, kind of like their bandoliers. I like that, but it's not worth what it's going to cost. It 63 pounds in the UK. I can't remember what the US cost is, but yeah, it's not enough. Although they're not even advertising this, like the UK listing, as a spoiler pack. I don't know if that's like a legal thing or what, but Walmart's listing just has the box. It doesn't have anything else. So they are spoiling the spoiler pack.
What about you, Daryl? Do you have a place for a fake bird in your life?
I mean, I don't. These are kind of sad to me. These spoiler packs were leader figures in the past two. These are just two. Well, you got a deluxe and a Voyager here, I guess. So, but I agree with Jeremy that the bandolier type Matrix thing is really the only interesting thing. It's funny because what the hell is this? Other than that, this would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, at least the 5th version of Megatron we've had from Siege to Earthrise to Kingdom now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm about done with the Megatron and Optimus molds on these from this trilogy. Paleo Trex, I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm not into that mold at all.
That's fair. And Charles, you only have two choices here. Matrix or Bird. What's it going to be?
Oh, that's super easy. Bird tricks. No, I agree with everyone else. The Matrix on the bandolier is the most interesting part of this set, but everything else is kind of disappointing. I mean, all these spoiler packs have been real, like Daryl said, they've been really disappointing for me. I mean, I don't know. I know you can't put a completely new, unique figure in these packs because they're essentially, they're just repaints or recolors of existing figures just to, try and eke a little bit more out of existing molds. But I mean, you could have done someone other than just Megatron and Optimus Prime. And I mean, okay, the first one was Ultra Magnus, but you've got a lot of figures to choose from. I mean, you could have put Dark Double Dealer in one of these spoiler packs or something. I don't know. As a more interesting figure. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like a missed opportunity. Like, we've got so many Optimuses and Megatrons, and they've done another Ultra Magnus too, which is like, and spoiler alert, they killed him off in the first series of the War for Cybertron. So why are you releasing another Ultra Magnus? But yeah, the one thing I do like is that this does seem to actually tie into the show in a meaningful way. Like the Nemesis Prime that was the previous spoiler pack, it was like 2-second scene of the show, and here at least, I mean, spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched Earthrise yet, but it's been 3 months, guys. But at the end of Earthrise, Megatron steals the Matrix from Optimus, so what? I guess he's just carrying.
Spoiler pack.
I said that. he's just, I guess instead of just putting it in his pocket, he wants to show it off and then walk around with it. Which I'm curious. I'm now curious for Kingdom if we're actually going to see Megatron walking around with the Matrix on his chest like this. So yeah, that's interesting, but not interesting enough to buy this figure.
To your point there, Charles, I get kind of like a G2 vibe with this, with the whole like bandolier thing. Mm-hmm. And with that in mind, a Triaxis figure might be kind of cool with this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would be... So I wonder, like, so you'd have to do I mean, if you... I would like to see an original G-Axis mold, but I think that's probably unlikely. But do you have a particular figure you would remold into G-Axis?
From Earthrise, like from recent stuff, I don't know. I don't particularly think so. I think what's kind of throwing me a little bit is like the last Jaxus figure we got was from Generations, and wasn't that like a remold of the Armada Starscream?
Yeah.
Yes,
it
It was.
Yes.
So I keep on thinking that, and it's like, okay, so do like a Seeker or something like that. But that seems a little, I don't know, a little cheap, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think we have any other like ship or plane mode bots other than Seekers in Earthrise right now.
Did he even transform in the comic?
Yeah, in G2, G-Axis was like a space ship, fighter jet something. It was like, a futuristic Cybertronian jet thing.
Maybe use the Tetrajet mold, but instead of maybe do some remolding on the solid part of the wings or something like that to make it a bit more interesting.
That's an idea.
But yeah, good to know. Write in, everyone, and tell us what you would like to see Jax is remolded as with this Matrix accessory. That'd be kind of cool. All right. Well, that brings it back to you, Charles. What do you got for us this week?
All right. Well, we've got another Kingdom reveal, but this was not an intentional reveal. This is a leak. And this came out in drips and drabs. I guess the benefit of doing this show weekly is that we're not, we don't. If we were doing this every day, we'd have to report on these rumors successively every day. But we get it in one big shot. Whereas, like over the course of 3 days, things were leaking out. Like first, we got a picture of a crotch. Then we got a full shot of the body. Then we robot mode. Then we got a vehicle mode. But yes,
Galvatron dick pics.
Yeah, so we finally have what appears to be War for Cybertron Kingdom Galvatron. So yeah, so we've got both the robot mode and the I guess cannon mode, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it's a very, I think, a very G1 inspired Galvatron. He's purple, so more like the cartoon rather than the toy from G1. Very much, reminiscent of Transformers the movie. One thing, interesting thing, at least in the robot mode pictures we've seen, he's got two pistols and like two guns in his hand that look very much like his ship from the movie. So that's interesting. The one thing that was really the only thing that kind of really disappoints me is that it looks like he's got the battle damage smearing on the figure in robot mode. So that's something I really am against for all the War for Cybertron figures. I really don't like the battle damage / weathering stuff that they've done, and particularly for Galvatron, who is supposed to be like right off the assembly line. After being created by Unicron, you'd think he'd be super shiny and new. So why would he have, all this scuffing on him? So,
but I mean, if you go by the show, the Galvatron we see has been, in some battles and stuff.
He still looked new. I mean, even in the show, he looked shiny and new. He didn't have any scuffing on him when he appeared to Megatron. I don't know. That's my pet peeve, but it is a good looking figure. But Jeremy, what do you think of this Galvatron? Is this something you're interested in?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think scuffing and stuff on his chest I don't mind as much as the legs. Although, I mean, I wish they had just done like gray plastic with purple paint and then chipped off some of the purple paint so it'd be more realistic looking instead of just having kind of some grayish paint to show the scuffing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he looks really good in both modes. I love that the gun, like his kind of handguns resemble his ship. That's a nice nod. And yeah, just I'm looking forward to seeing this in person, seeing kind of how big it is, and so much better than the Titans Return version.
Cool. Mike, what do you think of this Galvatron?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Galvatron to begin with, so whenever a new one comes out, I'm like, okay, sure, Galvatron. This thing is not doing enough to really sell me on Galvatron just as a character. And the sad thing is, like, I really like the design of Galvatron, like, as a character. This figure, looks fine and everything. I have no problem with the design of Galvatron. I don't know. I can't work myself up enough to care about Galvatron. And I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like I should like the character more than I do. I don't. I picked up the Titans Return Galvatron just because I'm a fucking completionist, and I bought nearly everything out of Titans Return. I bought the classics Generations Galvatrons. Like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. It's like, I don't think I need another one. And it's not that it's a bad figure. I just can't get worked up about him.
He just doesn't do it for you.
No, not even with the crotch picks.
Mike just can't deal with it right now.
All right, Daryl, Galvatron in your future?
Likely. It's one of those figures that it's one of those figures that just really has never gotten a good mainline figure over the years. Titan's Return was okay. It had an issue because they made it a triple changer. They forced that on it, and that open and play version that just took away the triple changing gimmick and just focused on the cannon and the robot mode was much better. This one looks good. It's got some issues, like Mike was saying. I think the chest is a little too wide, but that's probably in service to the gun mode. It looks quite good. I know that the main pictures that we're looking at right now, those little like shoulder pauldrons that he's got are mistransformed. I saw that in a tweet at some point during the week, so they need to be kind of pushed up or clicked in properly, and then they'll be right. The damage or the wear on him, I kind of look at it on his chest anyway as more like cell shading. I mean, there's really not enough of it to be cell shading, but it's generally I would think of like a damage or something like that to be almost a completely different color palette, but it's just light purple on dark purple, so that's why I can almost kind of forgive it for being a damage. But I don't think it's that bad. It looks pretty good. Mainline Transformers have their own issues, but that's the entire line wide kind of thing. They're pretty hollow these days. I like the idea of getting the ships. Whether we get two, I think it's just a symmetrical thing for his alt mode as an accessory thing. But they're cool to have. Something that you can kind of add to Unicron if you were getting one, because I don't think Unicron comes with one. Yeah, I think it's a good looking figure. I don't remember, is this a Voyager or is it a Leader?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at it in the stories here for all three links that you have for this, and I don't think any of them actually say if it's a Leader or a Voyager.
Yeah, I'd have to go back to the toy listings, like the original toy listing leaks we got.
It's hard to tell from the pictures.
But anyway, it's a good looking figure. I'm sure I'll buy it. I don't have any real knock against it that would keep me from buying it.
It's Leader class.
It's Leader. Okay, cool, great, cool. It'll look good next to the Commander class Rodimus that comes out. And the other thing that I was thinking of is we've already started getting leader class Kingdom figures, right? They re-released that Optimus in leader price point. If they're just leaking pictures of this now, it's not officially announced. I fully expect it to be announced on that April 9th, thing. But
spoilers for convention news.
Ooh, there you go. Either this thing's going to be like the latest, the late wave kind of release and harder to find, or it's going to be out really soon, and that would be kind of cool too. But I just hope it's not one of those late wave kind of figures that Hasbro used to do pretty prevalently, and they always made them really hard to find. So anyway, those are just the thoughts kind of run through my head while I look at this.
This is still kind of weird to me that we're splitting up the movie characters across two lines. Like Galvatron, Cyclonus, Rodimus Prime, they're all in Kingdom, but really they should be part of Studio Series. I mean, it's kind of weird.
I wonder if it comes down to budget for the lines.
Maybe.
So each line gets an allocated budget, and they're able to kind of get all the characters they want done by splitting it. Maybe,
yeah. But I mean, this pretty much will complete your movie collection. I mean, we'll have Galvatron, Cyclonus, Scourge. We'll have Hot Rod, Cup, Blur. Springer was in War for Cybertron Siege. We have RC in Earthrise. Have Ultra Magnus in Earthrise, or in Kingdom and in Siege. So,
did we get a Wreck-Gar anywhere?
Wreck-Gar's coming, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming in Studio Series.
Yeah.
And
we got the Quintessons.
Judgment.
Yeah, that's right. All right, that's all our toy topics, so we will move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the awesome Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got on YouTube in beautiful high definition. We'll also have the audio right here so you can listen to us describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right, let's get into the stuff we brought. So Jeremy, I'll start with you.
All right, I didn't really have much of anything, and Mike was just like, pick the oldest thing off of your shelf. So I picked, this is my original Power Master Prime. And he has seen a lot of play. So Hasbro, if you want to see battle damage, this is kind of authentic. The high Q doesn't really stay in there. Like, you barely touch him, he'll pop out. And I don't know what I was doing, but apparently I was playing with super glue when I was a kid, and that is the peg from this.
Oh no!
As a kid, I broke it off. I don't know why I had super glue. It was just
very common.
Yeah,
especially for kids. Yeah,
but this was one of the most played with toys I think I had. Because I don't know, it's so big and chunky, so much play value with like the different modes and stuff. So yeah, now he sits up there.
Whose gun is that?
Isn't this the gun? Oh no, this is gun from Getaway, I think. I don't know. I think his
that is the Getaway's gun.
Yeah, his regular gun is in some bag somewhere.
Do you have the shoulder guns too?
I do. I have all of his guns, I believe, in a bag somewhere. I'm packing. Cool. So it's. I also have the reissue that Hasbro did, the God Jinrai reissue. So I have one that actually, looks pristine, and it's just, this is the one that has sentimental value. That's all I got this week.
All right, I'll go next. So I just have a bunch of comics. I finally got back to the comic book store, and this is about a couple months of Transformers books. So we got Transformers Escape #2. We got Beast Wars #2. And these are all cover A. And Back to the Future, Transformers Back to the Future issue 3, also cover A. All right, that's all I got this week. So, Mike, we'll go to you.
So my pre-order from December came in, and I got myself the Botropolis set from Amazon.
Ooh,
Cool.
Yeah, straight up repaints of Ironworks and Airwave, but done with the Skylinks color scheme. I have combined them together with the Skylinks, and the set is actually pretty nice looking. If this focuses yet, there we go. Nope, never mind. My face is too powerful. Try it again. Still no. Okay. But yeah, so, well, there it goes. Whatever. So yeah. So you're not going to, if you already have Ironworks or Airwave or have played around with them, you're not going to be surprised by anything on this. But again, the color scheme actually works really, really well. And of course, they come with the 2 Minicon sets. So I think it was Phaser and Blastmaster and the other 2, whatever they are.
Blaze Master, I believe.
Is it Blazemaster? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And one thing I did like that the set did is it included the rocket
dildo?
from the rocket dildo from Double Dealer, except colored for this set. But that's kind of cool too. So yeah, a really nice set. A little on the pricey side. I think it ended up being like $60 or something like that. But overall, not too bad. I was, when I first got it in, I was considering, do I really want this? And I was like, all right, let me open it up and try it out. And I'm glad I did, because I do like it quite a bit. And I'll probably put some photos together of it pretty soon and get them posted. So, yeah.
I've seen some pictures of it all with Skylinks and everything. It looks really nice.
Totally agree. And that's me.
All right, and we will finish up with Daryl.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue with the my little G1 haul that I had going for a little bit there, and this is the last piece that I had going, and this is G1 Pretender Groundbreaker, and he is 100% complete. Pretty happy to get this guy as well. It's one of those Pretenders that you're like, I'll get him eventually, and he's not really a named character in anything. He's just the guy with the face on his chest, and he's cool. I mean, he's got the helmet that is a legit like motorcycle looking helmet. Yeah, he's cool. I think he's more of the season 1. I can't remember which year he is, but he's one of the ones with the belt. So I mean, if you're looking at them, and I
think that's the first batch.
Yeah, the first batch had belts. So one of the weird things about, every now and then you find a weird accessory on these guys that's always like a pain in the ass to find. This guy had like shoulder pads that come off. So like you see this in your parts bin and you're like, what is that? It's a shoulder pad for Groundbreaker. And obviously he had 2. Yeah, so he's in there as well. But yeah, cool. I'm glad to have Groundbreaker in my collection now.
A cool looking gun in his right hand. A crossbow.
Yeah, so that's actually it is an accessory for the smaller guy inside. So he's got a regular gun and then a little crossbow gun, which actually goes on his back.
Does the inner robot turn into a tank, or what does he turn into?
I think he's a car. Yeah,
most of them I think are kind of cars.
Yeah, yeah, he's a car, and then the little gun. Arrow thing kind of goes on the roof. As far as new stuff, I have one more thing, and it's brand spanking new, and I was really happy to find this guy because everyone knows I love new figures, and this is Huffer from Kingdom, and he's excellent. I'm really impressed with Huffer. So he comes with this little shield on the side that you can, it's not necessary. You don't even need it in alt mode either. because it just kind of goes over top of his legs, which, kind of cover up the the truck attaching, the fifth wheel. And the gun can peg in at all sorts of different places in alt mode as well. But what a fantastic little figure this guy is. Really excellent. Definitely not a repaint of Optimus Prime in any shape or form. And I can see how they might, retool him or redo him into pipes, but I'll give them that. But there's really no way they're making this into an Optimus Prime. So I'm really impressed with that. And the transformations, it's not super simple. It's a good deluxe transformation, and the sculpt on him is really quite good as well. See if we can get in on that. It might take a second. It's gonna take a second. It's gonna take longer than a second. Yeah, there we go. Hey.
Oh, yeah. That's a really nice face sculpt.
Yeah. So there you go. He's a really good looking figure, and some of these Huffer figures, you got to reach into the underneath the truck cab to kind of maneuver the head. Well, you can actually just kind of tilt the whole thing backwards if you wanted to do something with the head of the figure. So it's been really fun to kind of mess around with them and stuff. And full on recommend this guy. Definitely at a deluxe price too.
And he's compatible with Earthrise trailer, right?
Yeah, full on. Yeah, so I'm really happy with that. Yeah, but that's it. That's what I got this week.
All right, that'll do it for Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and we will move on to convention news.
All right, we have one thing in convention news this week, and Daryl kind of spoiled it earlier on.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Hasbro has announced Hasbro Pulse Fan Fest 2021, and this will be on April 9th. And it will have stuff much like what they did last year. It'll have like all the brands that they make toys for. Star Wars. Apparently, G.I. Joe is going to get some love. I'll believe it when I see it. But they're going to have lots of Transformers stuff. Likely the Galvatron we talked about. I'm sure there's some other stuff. But what's interesting here is they're going to release a new Pulse exclusive toy capsule in partnership with IDW Publishing that will turn the Transformers universe upside down. So, I mean, what do you guys think that could be? Like, what has been in the comics recently that you think that would turn the universe upside down?
Tarn.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking recent stuff, but yeah.
Toy recent Tarn.
Yeah, I mean, considering the only official Tarn we have is Flame Toys, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. They have to know how popular that character is.
Yeah.
I mean...
But I mean, is that going to coincide with him being introduced into the new continuity?
Well, isn't there a city called Tarn in the comics right now?
Yeah, he's named after a city, even in the original.
Well, yeah, but would they go ahead and put him in the comics with there already being the city called Tarn?
I mean, it's always the name Tarn was a title taken from the first city that the Decepticons captured in the war, so that's why he was named Tarn originally.
Right. I understand that, but Tarn in the comics right now is an active city, like they use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
So the first iteration was a known city, but it wasn't active. They never continuously went back to Tarn, right? It was just a known that was a city that Tarn, the character, took his name from. You get what I'm saying? Right? It's not like the potential for confusion, right, is amplified when you have a city named Tarn and a character named Tarn both actively being used in the comic.
Well, I mean, Tarn is in the comic currently. It's only been used to say that Megatron is from there. Like they're not. There's nothing taking place in Tarn right now. Like all the action is all in Iacon in the comic.
Okay.
So
all right.
Tarn exists as a place, but the camera has not really moved there. It's just been mentioned offhandedly that Megatron is a senator from Tarn.
Gotcha.
How about this? I mean, assuming this is going to be Tarn, they're like pumping the fact that this is in partnership with IDW. What if it's an exclusive Tarn figure with a Tarn standalone book that comes with it, that it won't be released in comic book stores until, months later?
I mean, I would love it. I would love it that if Alex drew it, and it's just
if
a
it was
book
like
of if.
Alex and John again.
Yeah, and it just Tarn's like just his violent thrash through the through the ranks and to get up to where he was when we kind of saw him equally in the More Than Meets the Eye world, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously it would be different because it'd be the new world, but some kind of equal kind of just violent rise to power. Yeah,
it'll be a re-release of that one issue of Lost Light where basically it's like The Office. You see Tarn.
Oh my god, it's one of my most despised issues. Everyone liked it, but I hated it. Okay, so
Right
take Tarn off the table. Take Tarn off the table. Who else could it be?
I mean, they've been in IDW. They've been pushing their new character Gage. I mean, I don't think she turns the universe upside down, but they She got her own 3-issue miniseries in Galaxies. She's been in the My Little Pony crossover. She's apparently going to be in the next My Little Pony crossover. For some reason, they really like Gage, this character. So maybe that's a possibility. I
mean, it's
also
a Bumblebee remold, right?
I mean, it could be. I mean, Gage has been kind of a generic, nondescript. So I mean, it could be a Bumblebee remold.
The Bumblebee
I mean, that would be
an
easy
Bumblebee.
Well, they could use Cliffjumper. That's just the skeleton. I mean,
yeah, that would be a natural choice for like a small car. Just color it blue.
What if it was a Lost Light?
The ship?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, take something. I mean, I don't know what you would have that would be kind of similar in shape. But you have like Commander class Jetfire or Skylynx. Maybe you could rework one of those into looking like Lost Light and transforming.
Kind of to go on your point right there, Jeremy, I think they're probably going to introduce the Ark
as a Pulse exclusive. I mean,
well,
maybe.
I'm sorry. Does it actually say it's a figure?
We
like
will
it has to
reveal
be a figure?
Pulse exclusive toy capsule in partnership with IDW Publishing.
Toy capsule. What is that supposed to mean?
That's what I was just looking at. What does the term toy capsule look kind of mean? I mean, is this something small? Is this something that is a capsule? Is this something kind of inclusive to just Pulse? Is that what they mean?
I'm assuming they mean something that would have both a toy and a comic. But when I think of toy capsule, I think of the Kinder Eggs. This is the little capsule that has a little toy in it, but I don't think that would be something that would justify being Pulse exclusive.
Just perked my interest even more. It comes encased in chocolate.
And we couldn't get it in the U.S.
And
See,
Mike,
when someone says toy capsule, like I don't think it necessarily has to be like a toy specifically. I'm thinking almost like a media package kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, we're introducing this big new event thing happening. And the toy part of it might be the announcement or the reveal of the Ark.
Well, we already know that the Ark is going to be this year's Titan class figure.
Right,
So,
but again, they're saying, hey, this toy capsule kind of thing. Again, the terminology is really, really weird for it and oddly specific.
And maybe because so many of the Titan class figures ended up at places like Ollie's because they didn't sell, maybe it would be worth it keeping the Titan class to be Pulse exclusive.
Interesting.
And
they do it.
And the Transformers Escape miniseries does focus on the Ark or the ship class of the Arks.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
or even
I would be very disappointed if it was that.
Yeah, even if the normal Titan class arc isn't going to be Pulse exclusive. Maybe they're going to have a repaint because Escape does have more than one.
Yep.
So we can have Teletran and then we can have a different one.
Although that's a pretty spite, like to make like a repaint of a Titan class figure and then expect people to shell out another $150 for it.
Yeah, I'd be more on the line of it. They're just going to do the one Titan class and make it exclusive. Mm-hmm. And Daryl can just go down to EB Games and get it.
That would piss me off because I get my Titan class from the comic store that I work at because I just work it off. So I'd have to shell out actual money for this one.
I hope they don't do it as an exclusive because like I had a bunch of Amazon credit and I'm hoping to use that for the arc.
Yeah, that's how I get a lot of my stuff. That's how I got this microphone. Anyway, that's what we got for convention news. Again, it's April 9th. It's online, so it's just free, and we'll be talking about it. I'm sure there'll be more stuff coming up, but we'll be talking about it definitely after April 9th. So that is all we got for convention news.
I wanted to mention one quick thing before we left this, and it's not really convention news, but it does have to do with the Hasbro Fan Pulse thing. Hasbro UK has Hasbro Pulse now, and I thought that was awesome. So that's very, very great for them, and I'm happy for them because they've had a hard time getting Hasbro exclusives up until this point.
Yeah, I have heard that prices aren't really as competitive versus existing online stores in the UK selling the same thing.
Well,
so there is some work to be done,
right?
I'm surprised that they got it before you.
Well, that's another story, but I'm happy for them.
That is convention news this week.
All right, and we will finish up the show with feedback. All right, and this week we got a comment on the website from Karuba, longtime listener. He's been listening since episode 1, and he wrote in. Karuba says, long time no see, Transmissions crew. Just stopping by to say that I love the show and continue to listen. One question for you all. What would you like to see in a Titan class ARC figure? My pick is that the ARC comes with an Autobot Teletran figure that forms the head, and we get a satellite like we saw in the series opener, More Than Meets the Eye. So, Jeremy, I'm going to start with you because you've been evangelizing the Teletran name for the ARC figure. So, what do you think?
I think that might be a way to do it, kind of a headmaster type of thing. But I still, since we saw in the art, the whole thing transforms. The whole thing is Teletran to me. I'm hoping that it's going to be something big enough to where we can at least have deluxe class figures inside it. I don't think it will be, but maybe some of the smaller, like the Legend scales. I want it to be something that would have play value, beyond just being something impressive for those of us that didn't get Unicron. And if it didn't have a Sky Spy satellite, then they're doing something wrong.
All right. Mike, what do you think?
No gimmicks. I don't want a headmaster. I don't want any of the weird plug-in gimmicks or anything that's going to take up a huge chunk of the space of the figure. I want a just nice, solid figure out of this. Any accessories that come with it, like the Sky Spy, that's totally just gravy on top of it. I would be happy if it didn't even have any of those at all, but it was still just a super solid figure. And sorry, Jeremy, but I do not want a playset thing out of this for the same reason, because it's just going to take up a ton of extra space within the figure, and it's just going to make it's going to hurt the transformation. It's going to hurt the actual value. It's going to hurt the play value of the figure for me. Having to try and show a playset in there. I mean, think about some of the playset stuff that came from Cyberverse and stuff, and that's going the completely opposite direction with it, where it's just the entire thing is a playset that kind of transforms into a very vague looking figure or vague looking armor or something, and it just looks like awful. It's like I can't get behind that. So I hope no gimmicks on it, no headmaster stuff with it, nothing like that. Just a nice, good, solid figure. And if it's got some extra stuff, do it like a Sky Spy. Cool, that'd be great.
All right. And Daryl, what are you looking for in an ARC figure?
I don't really know. Maybe some lights and sounds. Maybe not lights, but sounds. Sounds would be great. You could press a button and have it do the computer voice, the Teletran voice.
I'm
I think
I'm not sure that the estate of Casey Kasem would approve.
You can get a sound alike.
Yeah.
I mean, Transformers is well known for using sound alikes, so that's fine with me. I think the Sky Spy idea is fantastic. It's would be nothing to just throw a little piece of plastic in there and have it a Sky Spy, and you could even put a little clear piece of plastic to use it as like an attachment piece off the ARC as well. Yeah, there's not a whole heck of a lot. We obviously know it transforms into a giant robot, so there's going to be a lot of transforming to that. With a sound box that you can configure it to use transforming sounds as well. I mean, this is an unknown kind of palette here. You can do whatever you want with the robot mode. You just got to make sure that you get the ARC portion of it correct. I agree that it's not going to be big enough to be some kind of not a play set, but not really anything you can put your figures in and kind of look at them and kind of walk them around inside. It's not going to be big enough for that. But I do like the idea of it just kind of having a couple extra gimmicks. I don't think it needs to be a headmaster, but it could be. I mean, who knows? It's like I said, there's nothing saying what this thing should be in robot mode because we don't have anything to kind of judge it on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I really have no kind of real expectations on what I want it to be.
So for me, I don't know. I think I'd like just a really nice, well done, accurate cartoon representation of the ARC. I don't know. I never really needed a robot mode for the ARC, but I'm curious what they're going to do with it. But I just like a really good representation of the ARC, and we'll see how it looks. Although I probably wouldn't want the big Titan class size either. I'd like to get a little, a miniature ARC that I can just put on my desk.
Sorry, Charles, you're simply wrong.
Oh well, that's known to happen. All right, so that is it for feedback, and that'll do it for this episode of Transmissions. As always, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrions at the end of every episode. So thank you again to John 4X Levengood and Dinobot Maximize for continuing to support the show at such a high level. And you can also just remember to get our merchandise at our TeePublic store. That's at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. For all your Transmissions shirt needs or any shirts from TeePublic, you can go through our link and help out the show. Mike, anything you want to plug before we get out of here for Empire of Rust? Anything else?
Well, of course I want to plug Empire of Rust. So all of you, if you haven't checked it out, if you haven't been listening, then go ahead and give it a try. We've actually picked up a ton of new listeners and commenters. Our Discord channel over here has kind of been blowing up with a bunch of new people coming in, very interested in the game and how to play this. So yeah, Empire of Rust is definitely the place to be right now. So if you haven't tried it, please try it. Just listen to 1 or 2 episodes. Try it out. See how you like it. And then, of course, stay, please.
Well, as is a longstanding podcast tradition, I'm going to be doing a lot of house painting coming up, so I will be doing a lot of catch up.
Excellent. Is anyone else doing some house painting there? Anyone at all? Maybe someone in Canada? Huh? Maybe?
I mean, I'm sure there's some Canadian out there painting a house. But...
He's going to be walking around holding a baby for a long time. Maybe you could put some headphones on while you're rocking that baby to sleep.
You don't want to hear the baby
and listen to some podcasts.
I don't know. I mean, no, I sleep. I sleep during the night.
Or if you need to get that kiddo to sleep there, just go ahead and toss some headphones on her and just on him. Just go ahead and toss some headphones on and yeah, just lull them to sleep with some Empire of Rust.
If your show puts my kid to sleep, you may have a new listener. Yeah.
I'll take it. All right. Yes. So Empire of Rust. And if you want to follow me on Instagram at Minervion, that's Minervion. I post a bunch of toy photos that I take, as well as some renderings and stuff I do for work. So, go ahead and give me a follow on that, and we'll all be good.
All right, everyone. That's it for Transmissions. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, all.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
How many times have you been doing this, Charles?
This is my first day. It's my first day. Give me a break.
Listen, we don't pay intern rates here. Come on.
What time are we pressing record?
Soundboard.
Oh yeah, no soundboard.
See, you complain when it's like you're like, oh darn, you're not going to have your soundboard. That annoys us, Jeremy. And then when it's not there, you're like, where's the soundboard?
I mean,
I can't win.
I didn't complain. I just forgot.
You complained before. I can't win.
So, yeah. Let's play the sound, Jeremy. It's perfect. That was perfect.
For all fans of the 86 movie, the 35th anniversary. So yeah, both fans of Beast Wars and fans of the 86 movie are making out this year, with both anniversaries getting well served by the toy lines.
I don't know if they're getting that fresh with each other, Charles.
Making out. Had to disconnect the soundboard for this episode, didn't you, Jeremy?
Oh, there it is. It's back.
Back. There you go.
It's been back.
We are cruising.
I know. I'm looking at my waveform from when I was playing with that toy. I'm sorry, Mike. It's just all the clicks are clipping.
Hey, it's his last week. Might as well fuck it up.